So last Sunday, we're having time to do. Remember that we put a code, just single codes, to be able to insert numbers. So as I said last week, I'm going to explain on. If you can see my screen, let me know. Can you see my screen now? Hold on. If you can see my screen, I'm going to expand it now. Let me just move the okay, perfect. This is what I want. So we can start. So I hope everybody can talk now so we can start. So last week we want to insert values inside a table, and when we want to try to insert values, we're having problem, not realizing we have to put single quotes on each values as well. So today we're going to talk about insert, update, create table, and then we're going to talk more about inner join and outer join. But before we start, I hope you go over the videos or anything, how to restore database, how to back up database as well. So I told us last week, we're going to look at some part of administration. It's very important you know about it as well. And so one of those things that you will do when you start SQL Server, sometimes in your company, you might have more than one server. In this case, my PC is my server, which is Lenovo PC. But in some cases, you have, company that has 4 server. So if you want to connect, you just say click connect, database engine, and then look for whatever you want here. So in this case, mine is Lenovo PC. So suppose this one is my second PC, probably it's using SQL Express, then I'll click it. I don't have it again, so it's going to give error. So what I'm trying to say is that you can have multiple server in this place, but you must know where your files are kept so that you can start working on a database. And then last week I told you
Michael,
hello.
I'm not sure I can see your screen. Have you started displaying anything?
Yeah, let me check. Hold on, sir.
Is it just me or maybe
It's
any
not
other?
just you.
Oh, maybe I've not started sharing the screen. Oh my goodness. Because oh my Lord. Share. Okay. Sorry about that. Can you see it now?
Yes.
You can see it now, yeah?
Um. Yes.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. You know what happened? Because I have put it set in share screen. I was thinking it has already automatically. So we're going to start all over again. So that for people that will go back and watch, we're talking about SQL last week. We discussed about these values that if you want to insert values, you have to put single quotes on it. So if you put single quotes, you will not have problem. Everything has to be single quoted as well. Like, so if you have values, whether is a character string or is an integer, is date, it must have string values. Praise the Lord. And so I'm saying praise the Lord, sorry. I'm preaching. so,
Okay.
so now we're going to look at insert today. We're going to look at update today. We have to be careful with, updating database and deleting database. I told us during the beginning of the lecture that when you're updating things and when you are trying to delete something, you have to use where. Where is a condition? If you don't put it, you just screw the database. And I told us again and again that anytime you want to work with database, try to do backup first. Okay, so now in this case, now I want us to go over to administration side of things first before we start scripting, because I don't want us to be scripting and we don't even know how to do some things in SQL as well. So I said you might have multiple server in your company. So this one is my only server because I'm only using only one PC, but you might be working in a company where they have 4 server and different database, So in this case, if you want to connect to another server, you click connect, database engine, then you look for it. You can say browse more. They might give you the computer name. You start searching for the computer name. Maybe it's a network server. I will start searching. So if the network server is there, it's going to bring it up here automatically. You understand what I'm trying to say here? So for me, I only have Lenovo PC. Suppose you are in a company, you might have 4 PC here, and then you'll be able to select the database they are talking about where you can work with. So that's all done for that. And I said I'm going to explain to us about properties. It's very important to talk about properties. You have to work on properties of your database to be able to, effectively use your organization, database. Sometimes you might need to configure certain settings, which I'm going to show us today. I remember when I first came to Aberdeen, I was trying to manage a database then, and then the situation is happening is that they are using one application, and then I'm using SQL replication in the background. So what happened was I was able to do something. Because in that case, the processor was, and the memory, I think is the memory, was using all the resources on the PC. So if they want to download, on the PC, or they want to work on the PC, it's very slow. So what I did was I went to memory, and you could see here now that the different memory is using every memory here. So that means that anybody that wants to do something or in the background, or they are using the server, probably someone is connected remotely to this PC I'm using, they will be finding it difficult to work because this SQL is using everything. Did you see what I'm trying to say now? It's using all the memory in this PC. This is more than my memory. I only have 4 gig in this place. So you can reduce it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you can only go here and reduce this. So the minimum one, and then you just put the maximum one. So I can put 2147. I think I have to reduce mine anyway. So you just do that one, okay? That's only thing you want to do here, okay? And then you click OK, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about one more thing again before I go back to all these settings. In SQL, there's what we call timeout. There's what we call SQL timeout. Most of the time, when you connect to a database, sometimes it just say timeout, it has timeout. The reason why it has timeout, I will give us an example, is because there's not enough time to connect. Probably the network was slow or is very slow, and then you are not able to connect. And sometimes some of their timeout is set to like 10 seconds. Probably you might need to increase it. In my case, I sometimes put it to like 400 seconds so that I can, I will allow the database to set in time. So the reason why I'm telling you this is that you encounter this. Trust me, it's a lot of issues. So how are you going to do that? So we'll go to here. I think it's here. I'm not sure, but it should be here, properties. And then we'll go to connections. And then you see, oh, I've already set it. So maximum number of concurrent connection is 0. I'm not going for this one. This is the one I'm going to. You see, this one is 600. Did you see one? Allow remote connections to this server, 600. So it means that at least it's 600 that is there, which is okay. 600 is like 6 seconds, okay, 6 minutes or so. Or if it sets to 0, it means no timeout. That means that it will try to keep connecting and connecting until it gives error. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So this is administration part of things. So these are the common things I'm showing to you now. So take note of it as well. And I hope you have learned something there. Okay. Good. So now we haven't finished with administration as well. So I'll right click on this again. We'll go to properties again, and then we'll go through general. Now, this one you don't have, you just want to know the information about your PC and so on and so forth. Unless you are you are trying to be an advanced developer, that's when you start to worry about this server collation and so on and so forth. So I won't mention it, but you can look at the properties of your SQL here. This is the name, Lenovo PC. This is what you are using and everything and so on and so forth. So that's the properties for it. And now this is your root directory. Anytime you want to save a file, this is the root directory of your MDF file. That's it. And then we have memory here. Now, in this case, this memory is what we have already configured. So I don't need to say anything. Memory simply means that you want to allocate SQL Server to use certain, amount of the memory you have on your PC. So I have 4 gigs, so I'm using 2 gig here. Then processors. You don't need to worry about this, so that's fine. Security, this is what we want to talk about. Remember, I told us when I think I was talking with someone that was installing SQL. Anytime you want to install SQL, the application will ask you if you want to configure it also to have SQL Server Authentication. But sometimes if you don't have time to create the password, now what happens is that you can leave it and continue with Windows Authentication mode. Now, it's always good to always have SQL Server Authentication mode. The reason why it's very important is because sometimes you don't need to have your Windows account to open SQL database. You can use SQL Server Authentication. And so what you can do is that you go to security and say SQL and Windows Authentication mode. And when you have done that, you will click OK. Is that okay? Now, after you have done that, what will happen is that you have to restart this SQL Server agent. Do you see this SQL Server agent? Now, the purpose is for everything to synchronize. So SQL Server agent will bring everything that you have just done on the database. It will synchronize everything to be updated. So that's what you need now. So what I'll do now is that I'll just say right click and then say restart. And then I'll restart the SQL Server. And in addition, I will mention also that anytime you are facing problem with SQL, it's very slow. It's always good to go to services, or you can restart the SQL Server agent here. Go to services, go to SQL Server, restart it as well. It's a good way of maintaining your SQL database as well. So sorry, I think it goes to the other screen. So this is what comes out. Are you sure you want to restart this? Say yes. So now I've restarted it now. So it's loading now. So it's all done now. So that means that I've already set it to be SQL Server Authentication. So what we are going to do next is that we're going to talk about security, okay? Because we are still on security. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. I want us to do something. I want us to create a new database here. So can someone just right click on this database, right click and say new database?
Databases.
Yes.
New database.
Yeah. So now, if you are there now, you could see my screen here. This is what I'm trying to do now. Good. Now, I'm going to just say some example. I will name it example. I'll just call it example 1, or just say example lesson. Just call it example lesson, okay? Because we are still going to delete it. Now, anytime you create database, just write it here. That's enough. You don't need to do options. Just don't worry about that one for now, okay? That's fine for you. Just leave everything for now. And then click OK. Now, we have created a database, a simple database, even though it doesn't have anything at the moment. So what we want to do now is that this example lesson, it has tables, empty tables. Let me put it that way. It has tables, but empty, nothing is created. Now we have Adventureworks, what we have been working with. Now we want to do two things there. We want to go to security. If you go to security on your PC, okay. Now you right click on logins, but excuse me, before you right click on logins, if you have SA, do you see SA? Can everyone see SA on their PC? SA. Hello? Let me see if I can hear you. Maybe you have been muted. It's very important.
Refresh.
Can you see SA, like system administrator, under logins? After
Security, and then expand logins.
Yes.
Yes, SA.
Yeah. So now you can see it. Now it's called system administrator. Now, system administrator simply means that you have to quickly assign an SA password first. The reason is because this one has general overall privilege and unlimited permission on SQL Server. So what you will do is that first select it, because when you install it, I don't know, maybe you have already given password to your own system administration. Select it, right click it, and then click properties. I've already created mine already, but because I'm showing it to you now, it's good for you to have it. Now, this is general now. It's already SA. I've already created it as my password. Now, select enforce password policy. If you want to do that, you can do that for your SA. But my own, I've created it. You can enforce it. You don't need to enforce it, but just create a password. Don't enforce anything, but remember your password. You can omit it. If you want to enforce password expiration, you can do that, but don't do that, because really you are the one that is managing it. But if you are really now a senior developer or something like that, you can, say enforce password expiration. Probably you want to give someone, a permission to a database for a certain period of time. You give them a password. After some time, it's going to expire. Okay. So, but don't worry about all those things. These are just things you can easily, get. So now you now go to server roles. Now, I want to explain to you these server roles. You can go to the internet and, make more research, but it's very easy. This 6 admin one, yeah, is the one that controls everything. Because it's already automatically selected, because SA simply means that control everything on this database. I can do anything I like. I can give someone, a role, but I can override that person because I'm the system admin. So it's very important that anytime you install database, wherever you are in a company, you must make sure that you have access. No one has the password of your system administration. No one, because you can easily do other things with it. You can, if anybody made mistake with the database, you can easily correct it. You can easily do so much with system administration as well. So I'll select system administration. If I like, I can select this up together, but this one overrides everything. So I don't need to do anything like setup admin or server admin, or I don't need to select it. This particular one override everything. So I can select it if I want to. So it means I'm doing everything at the same time. That's server roles. Now I will now go to user mapping. Now this user mapping simply means that, do I want to control all the database I have? So I can select Adventureworks. I can select Chinook. So as you are working as well, you can do that. The 2 databases you have, select example lesson and Adventureworks. So that means that I can have access to it because I've now selected it. Now, if you see now that after I've selected them, I have to go back to each one of them. Am I a DB owner? And this one is very important. Read about it. But DB owner and security admin are the key priority in terms of dealing with any database. So DB owner and DB security admin, you can always select them, and then you have priority to do anything on the PC. So you are DB owner on this PC. You are DB owner on Shibbook as well. You can select it. Do you see what I'm doing now? You can go back to it in the lesson. Even though I am SA, I am system administrator, I still need to select myself as a DB owner and everything, okay? So that I can do anything with the database. I can write scripts and do anything. You know, the last time we were struggling to do certain things with the Adventureworks, it was saying that duplicate, because I've not been able to be DB owner on the database itself. Now I'm a DB owner. I can do anything. I can create. I can do whatever I like to do. I can work on anything on PC. But you must always select DB owner and security admin. Okay. So I've selected these 3. That's enough. Let me select this one as well. I don't need this. This one is my developing. Okay. I can select workshop. I can say, but you don't have enough of that on your PC. I only have, you can just select the example one and that one. Is that okay for you? Are you getting it, everyone?
Excuse me, Michael.
Yeah.
Now, if you have that exclusive access or right to do whatever you want on the databases you've selected, right?
Yeah.
Does that exclude any other person from also doing the same? Unless you give them the password or access to the databases.
No, you don't need to give password first and foremost. You don't need, it depends. If you, okay, if you create them SQL Server Authentication, yeah, you can give them password, which is fine. Yeah, you can do that. So you can say they don't have right to, so if for example, someone, you give them password, you create, and we will do that. That's where we are going now. I'm going to create
Okay.
another user for us, and then we'll practice it. Okay. We'll practice what they can do. So we'll give one access, we'll not give one access. We'll see what will happen when the
Okay.
other person wants to try to access the database as well. Is that okay?
Okay. Great. Yes.
All right, perfect. All right. So that's it. And then, so we have already selected this. So, and that's okay. So I'll just click OK.
I'm sorry again, Michael. I had a little trouble taking mine. They are not taken. Security admin. They are
I
not.
think, yeah, I'm trying to see why it's not saying that. Add member fee for server book admin. Let me see what I think is here. Let me just remove this. It's supposed to just let it remain. So always let it remain this one and this one, probably. I'm not sure yet. Don't know why. Created fee for another Okowa is getting. Oh,
DB owner
and I
and
think
DB security admin.
no, because I'm already SA, so I don't need to do anything. That's what it's trying to say. I've already have access, so I'm trying to enforce myself again. But you should, if you create it, if you already have SA, you should be able to have system admin, and then you can, so we want to create another user. So we'll create two types of user. We are going to create new. If you right click new, login. So I'm going to create SQL Server Authentication here. So I'll call that one unlimited. Unlimited. It means that the person will have unlimited access to the PC. So I'll give the password unlimited. Okay.
Mikey, how do you get it again quickly?
Okay, no problem.
To log in.
So I'll right click on expand security and right click on logins, click new login, and then on the general tab, I said I'm going to create a SQL Server Authentication now. So I select SQL Server Authentication. Now, when I select SQL Server Authentication, I can give it a name now that I want. Okay. Now, before I proceed further, suppose you are in a company, you want to just give another person a login, another login. You can select, maybe the person has Windows authentication. You select Windows authentication. There's a reason why I'm saying that. Windows authentication, and then search. And then when you search, because your company will have probably we have domain, so you have list of people. So this is the person I've already added before. I'm just trying to see. So you could see now I can assign someone that is Windows user as well and give them, access as well, permission. So it's both ways. But now we are dealing with SQL authentication. So in this case, we are going to go to SQL Server Authentication. I'll name it unlimited. So unlimited, the reason why we are naming it unlimited is because we want to have full access to the database. We want to have full access. So we are giving it a password unlimited, all lowercase, unlimited. So that's it for that. I will say uncheck enforce password expiration, enforce password policy, remove that. Then you now go to server roles. I'm the one now giving access now. I want to give him a server role. I want him to be kind of a setup admin, system admin as well. And then I want him to have access to Adventureworks and then access to this example lesson. Is that okay? And then I can say it can be DB owner on this as well. So, and that's all. So you can click OK. I hope it's not going to give error. So that's fine now. Now, you could see now it's unlimited. If I go to Adventureworks now, if I click on Adventureworks, if you want to know, sometimes you are doing a lot of things. If you want to know that you now have access, you can expand this Adventureworks, go to its own security, and then you go there, and then you select users. Look at it. Where is unlimited? Unlimited is under it now. It means unlimited has access to it. So now, if I now right click this unlimited, I want to see how many, what kind of permission I have on it now. I'll be able to see unlimited, membership. So membership is here now. So you can select it, but you already have access as DB owner. I'm not sure if I select it then, but you can always set it. I think I didn't select it, but I should have. So I have unlimited there. Now, let me check which one do we do now? Example lesson. Right click it. Oh, because we didn't do refresh. Right click, security, users. Am I under it? Yes, unlimited, properties, membership. So it's already DB owner. So I think I didn't click DB owner on the Adventureworks before. So that's fine. So now what happened now is that I'm going to sign out. I'm going to just say disconnect. And I'm going to say connect again now. So in this case, I want to log in now with SQL Server Authentication. Sorry. So I'll now put my login is what? Unlimited. And my password is unlimited. So you could see now I can log in. Okay. Now, what's happening now is that I can do anything I want to do now on Adventureworks. I can delete database. I can say I want to delete a table. I can do anything I want to do now. I can say, okay, let me write a query now. So let me write a query. All right, new query. I'll just say delete. Let's say delete. I'm not sure if you allow me, but let's try it. Delete from person. Hey, it might not allow me. I think there's still a schema, but you can do anything. You have access there. Someone is saying. Yeah, because I'm not the one that created it. I know it won't work anyway. But what I'm not trying to say here is that you have access to it. You can do anything that a system admin should do, and so on and so forth. So we are still going to do that, because the reason why I'm saying this is because when we want to do replication, these are the key things required. If you want to replicate now, you must give permission. Without permission, you will not be able to replicate. So now we have done that. We are now going to create another type, which is another type of hold on, security, which is called limited. We're going to say new login. So we'll call it limited here now, just limited. And then we'll name this one limited. The other one limited. And then don't enforce password, doesn't matter now. Server roles. Now, the server roles, if you say public, it means that the person can view the data. But in this case, we don't want the person to view anything. So say, oh, the thing is you can't even remove it. But user mapping, I won't give any mapping to the person. I won't allow the person to access Adventureworks. But I can allow the person to access Chinook. Okay, Chinook. Chinook can be accepted. So, and the person can only be public on Chinook as well. Just view. So public means read only. So the person will not be DB owner. Adventureworks, no access at all on Adventureworks. So I won't select it for him. Okay, and then that's it for this person. Limited. So limited has been created now. So limited doesn't have access to Adventureworks. So if I disconnect now and then log in again with SQL Server Authentication, then go to limited, connect. Now let's start now. So I'm trying to access Adventureworks now.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
hello.
Yes, yes, go on.
All right. So select from, let me see, which one should we use? Person dot address. So
You are still in the master database.
oh yeah, so true. New database, isn't it? Oh, what am I doing? New query?
New query.
Yeah. Select from person dot address. What's happening to my PC? It's well. That's so.
Still in master. Still in master.
Oh, I'm still in master.
Yes, it's still in master.
It's okay. Yeah, so I will not be able to access it anyway. So it has already denied me. I think that's why it's going back automatically to master. I didn't even realize because I'm using. Yeah, so because I didn't give access to Adventureworks. So anytime I'm trying to create new query now, I think they have changed database now. So it will not allow me. So it's going back. That's why it's going back to master. Remember, we created limited. So that's why it's bringing out this. So they have changed it. So I've not used this type of SQL version before. So that's how it is now. But if I go to, which one did I?
Sorry, can you repeat that? So you didn't give the full permissions, and that's why it's going back to the previous.
Yes.
The previous one.
Yeah, that's why it's going to master is the default one in the.
Okay.
Yeah. So the reason is because I didn't give it a permission. Like I didn't give it access at all.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I didn't tick the checkbox to say anything about it. So that's why I call it limited. So, and if you go here, you see now I cannot do anything. You see,
Yes.
but if I go back now to Chinook, I think I said I have access to Chinook. Was it Chinook? Probably.
Yeah, you said Chinook.
Yeah. So now I can access it now, limited. So I have access to Chinook as well. So that's how you are going to define roles. So what I'm trying to do is that if you're at home, try to read about all the DB owners, their function, how you can assign quickly, what's the purpose of public. Public means, in fact, read only. So in this case, in this one that is Chinook, it's only going to be read only. I cannot do much with it as well. So, but there are other functions as setup admin. So it means that if I put it setup admin, it means that the person can do much more. He can set up an administration. If I said the person should just do bulk admin means that you can, write a script to send a bulk file, a bulk, how will I put it, to transfer a bulk of file and so on and so forth. So that's what I would say now for now. So you go and read about it. The more you practice, the more you understand the concept of permission. But I think the trick behind it is that knowing what to do, being a DB owner, anytime you have a database, you must always know that you have the system administrator password. You must hold that very well. It's very important. That's the key of everything, and so on and so forth. And now the reason why I'm showing all this as well is because when we go to replication, I want you to be fully prepared so that when I said create DB owner, because when you have DB owner permission, that's when we can be able to say we want to replicate. When you have DB owner, that's when we want to write advanced script to merge script together as well. So that's what I'm trying to teach now. So, and I think I've covered this part very well. I think you understand this administrative part of things very well about security, about SQL Server Authentication. You can go back to the video and then you'll be able to understand more. And then we talk about, so I'm still going to talk about attaching database. We discuss about backup and restore, but we have not talked about attaching database. And attaching database is very important as well, because sometimes you want to attach a database, probably database was faulty, and then you try to detach the database away, but you want to attach it and you have forgot to. Hello, you want to say something?
No.
Okay, so now what you're going to do is that you're going to attach database here today. So I'm going to try to see what can I do to attach database. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say task detach. I'm detaching Adventureworks now. So it's going to ask you a question. So I'll just say, okay, why? Oh, because I'm using limited, so I cannot. You see, that's one of those things as well. Because I log in as limited, I cannot do anything. So why do you want to detach it? You don't have the permission to detach it because I don't have full access. So I have to log in again, probably disconnect, connect, and then use my Windows authentication, which is the main one. Or I should even use my SA anyway. So SA will be much more easy. So now I can say I want to detach database. Right, task, detach. Then click OK now. So now I'm detaching it. I'm not deleting it. There's a difference between deleting. So I want to attach it. That's why I detach it. Sometimes, you want to attach. It's not about backup now. You see, you want to attach back. So you detach, you attach. What's happening? It's currently in use. Am I using it somewhere? So what am I going to do? Yeah. How am I going to solve this problem? This is another issue you face as well. This database in use. How am I going to solve this problem? Am I going to what am I going to do? Probably I'll go to my SQL Server agent. It seems it has a problem. Do you think it's starting? It's not even showing the green arrow here. Is it what I'm trying to say now? It's not showing green arrow. There must be a problem probably. You see, it's not even giving start, stop, everything. Something's wrong somewhere. I think I'm going to it's not even allowing me to do anything. So I might go to my services and see what's happening there. Services.msc to see the SQL Server. Probably something was wrong when I detached database. And these are those things you face as well. Services.msc. I think we know about this. We have dealt with this before. Like if your SQL Server is not working, you can go to services and see what is there. So I'm trying to do that now. Scroll to SQL Server. It's working. So what's happening? So I have to know what's happening, isn't it? I can stop it and then restart.
Michael, where did you get services from?
Okay, you can search it and say services.msc.
Okay.
Yes, and you should be fine. You can start again. Hopefully it's going to work now. Then I'll start SQL Server agent here now. Should be fine now. Still not working here. Something's wrong somewhere. It's not working. I don't know why. Can you detach yours? One of you should be able to detach so that I can continue. Okay, I've detached now. It's fine. So I've been able to detach it now, which is fine. So what are you going to do now? I want to attach it back. So you right click on databases, attach, and then when you attach it, you come with a dialog this way. Now you go to add, click add, then you could see my database is here, which is Adventureworks 2014 underscore data.mdf. Now, later on, when you start getting used to SQL database, you understand the difference between MDF and LDF. Immediately you select this and click OK, it will automatically generate a log file as well, which is LDF. So if I click OK, you see now I create a log and data. Okay, log and data. So now if I click OK now, everything should be fine. So I'll be able to attach it now. So I detach and I attach. Don't delete, just detach. If you want to work on a troubleshoot, you want to troubleshoot a database, you can detach and then attach again and so on and so forth. So that's all about attaching database. So now we discuss about that. Now I want to talk about management. I think I've told you if you are using SQL Developer, that's fine. If you're using SQL Express, it doesn't have that, functionality. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to teach you about management of database backup. Now, the critical part of it is that sometimes you want to manage a backup of database. Probably you don't want to be going every time to manually, backup database. You want to, you know, create a schedule, of, database backup as well, like maybe 14 days, worth of database, or probably 1 month. So how are you going to do that? And then immediately it is creating that, it's going to be purging them. So if it's more than 14 days, probably it's going to purge it because you want to keep 2 weeks worth of database. So that's what is this management is for. The management here. You could see manage backup. If you are using Express, you will not see this functionality. So I hope everybody is using developer. So if you are not using developer, then you'll not be able to see this. So if you want to work on this, then you will see manage backup, and then you will see maintenance plan. But the first thing you do is that you right click, new maintenance plan. So this new maintenance plan is what you are going to start using to, create a maintenance plan for your database. So we can name this one maintenance plans 1. I'll just name it 1. And then it will click OK. And then the next thing is for you to wait for the dialog. Someone is who's waiting. Oh, okay. Now I have it here. Now, do you see what's happening now? Now you can decide to say, I want to schedule my database this way, or you can have a plan. I can do it this way, but when I do that, I'm not really planning for it much. So let's do it first, because you have to think very well. Now, I want to see what we can do. Not this one. Probably this one is going to schedule it for certain time. It's not going to keep worth of 7 days. So I'm going to remove it. I think I made a mistake there. Right click. You say maintenance plan wizard. Sorry about that. I'll click maintenance plan wizard. I'll click next. And then I'll now start. So I will say maintenance plan 1. Just leave this one as SQL Server agent, this thing. And then single schedule for the entire plan. So it's better to select this so that everything will be done at the same time. Then you can change your recurring plan here. You can say enabled recurring. How many times do you want it to be? You can say daily. For how many days? Of course, every, probably at this time, probably at 12 o'clock midnight. I want you to do this maybe in your spare time. But what you're going to be doing is that I want to see if you can keep this for 14 days. Probably let's do it for 3 days. So we're going to do it for 3 days. We'll see if it's going to maintain 3 days. And after 3 days, when it's increasing, the numbers of files in your PC, you should be able to automatically and delete it and purge it for you. So I'll click OK here. That's it for that one. I'll click next. Now, you have to select 2 here. You have to select backup database full. I always select back. Oh, I will mention this before we finish. I want to show you something first. Please, it's very important. We'll have to go back to this, because if I didn't tell you, it's not good. I'll click cancel. In here, in your Lenovo PC, it's always good, because in previous version of SQL, they don't have it, but now they have it. If you go to properties and you go to database settings, select compress backup. It's very important, because when you select compress, it's not going to be, occupying space in your PC. So please, database settings, you have to select compress backup. It's very good. This is one of the new features of this new SQL Server. When I was using 2000 and 2005, they don't have that feature then. So in the new versions now, they have compressed backup from 2008. So you can use compressed backup, please. Select compressed backup. And then let's click OK. Then we can go back. So it's good for you also to refresh your brain now again. So right click maintenance plan wizard, go back, maintenance plan 1. Yes, want it to be daily for now, because every day. Remember, we are going to do 3 days, but we haven't seen the option of 3 days. So I will show you what we are going to do. Then click OK, we'll click next. Now, this one is very important. Backup database first. Click this one, select it, and then you need another one, which is called maintenance cleanup task. I'm still going to teach us about later on in future. We're going to talk about shrink database, but maintenance is the best one. Maintenance cleanup task. Now, the reason is because immediately it backup is going to clean up after it has more than 3 days worth of database. So you don't say clean up first, backup and then clean up. So then the next one, next. So you can move down, you can move up. So I'd rather prefer it this way, backup and then clean up if it's more than 3 days. Is that okay? So next, and then what's next now? Now this one is very important. You must know what to say. Backup to disk. Databases you want to back up, I'll select Adventureworks. Is that okay? Select it. Destination. Now you can create a destination. Now, if you want to select your destination, you don't need to create subfolder. Just let's use this one. Select destination, and what you can do in this backup here, you can leave it this way. Okay. Now leave this one as BAK. Don't touch it because it's very important. It's going to save it as BAK. All right. And then it's going to see options. And then this is where you are going to set the days. You do this. Use the default server settings means that, where you said that compress backup, that's where it's going to apply it. So I'll just say keep 3 days for now. So we want to see if it's going to work after 3 days. We're going to have what of there is 3 days. Is that okay? And then that's all. Next. And now we are now going to, what did I say that? Yeah, backup set will expire. No, it shouldn't expire. Sorry, I'm choosing another one. I shouldn't do this. Sorry, I was thinking it's the cleanup. So you don't need to do anything here. So don't do anything here, please. So I was thinking it's the cleanup. So it's not the cleanup one. So this one is still backup. So this one means use this default server settings. That's the key thing. So default server settings still compress, or you can still select compress backup. So you can select compress backup as well. So, and then next, and then this is the cleanup task now. I will now say backup files. What do I want to do? I will say search folder and delete files based on extension. I can say BAK. And so on. I will say BAK here. I'll first browse the folder I want to. So you can go to here. Then my SQL Server. Which one is the one I choose? Oh, I can't even remember. I think it should be this one. Yeah. And then backup. So this is where it's going to be looking at. It's going to be looking at this part because that's where I stored. I think this is where your part of you. So it's going to be searching for those files if they are more than 3 days, and then you put .b. You can put .bak here. File extension. Is it just BAK? I don't put dots there. Just put BAK. That's fine. And then delete files older than 3 days. We want days, so I'll just say 3 days, which is fine. And then next. So if you want email report, you don't need that here anyway. So this is the log file. If you want the log, sometimes there's error, you can read the log here and say this is the log file. And then that's it, finish. So everything should be success for you. At the end. Good. So we have a success now. If you want to test it, before you do anything, test it if it's running. So you see now it is called maintenance plan 1 here. So I can say, right click it and say execute. So I will execute it now. I want to back up the database myself. So I've clicked execute. So it's going to start running now and so on and so forth. So why is doing that? We're going to continue doing our stuff. If you have any question, let me know. Go back to the video, remind yourself, just think deeply. How is it managing? I think that's finished. It is notifying me. So it says success now. You can see everything's successful. It's a small database. So someone wants to come in. Let me see. Yeah. All right. No problem. So now, so I'm going to keep this for 3 days and see what's going to happen. Tell me the result of your 3 days. If it cleans it up, if it doesn't, then I will see why the problem is for you, and so on and so forth. So I think we should be fine with backup today. We should be fine with all the properties of SQL. And then now let's go back to Lenovo again. Right click, properties. And then we have already discussed about connections already, which is anytime, you know, you say timeout problem, go here and increase the timeout or put it 0, no timeout. We have talked about database settings. Just go to compress backup, that's enough. Don't touch this one, just let it be. This is default settings from Microsoft, so most things goes here. So advanced means don't worry, don't even go there. But if you want to change, like I don't say anything here, but you can change some things here. Okay, so like this one, I can change it, remote login timeout if I want to, if you want to, or you don't need to. But these are all those things you can look at later on when you start, you know, getting used to SQL. You are now a developer, you are confident, but you just don't touch anything anyhow here, and so on and so forth. So that's what I was saying. And then permissions. This one doesn't really matter, honestly, to be said. You don't give permission here. You go and give permission elsewhere. You can do it here, but it's not really what we should be doing now. So I would say just leave it this way. Okay, that's fine. So I hope you will be confident. If you watch this video, you'll be able to understand security in SQL. Okay, all right. So that's it for now. For that one, want to go to scripting. So I'll be able
Michael,
to go.
please.
Yes, tell me. Ask me a question. Yeah.
Why is it important to
Okay.
back up a database? Perhaps I missed that bit when you were saying it.
Okay. I'll give you 2 instances. Okay.
Mhm.
Number 1, you have the situation where you have all the company details in a database,
Yes.
and then if anything goes wrong, or probably is corrupted, or probably they hack your system and everything broke up, you know, the backup is not going to even be in one PC. It's because you are looking at it as one PC. It might be in the cloud as well. And maybe after backup, you know, there's a script that will transfer it to somewhere in the cloud and so on and so forth. At least you can go back to where it is and then restore it back, isn't it? Another importance of, if you mistakenly do something on a database, you can easily restore it back, because there will always be a mistake, trust me. And that's one of the purpose as well. Okay, so you have to back up database. It's very important. Why shouldn't you back up database? You have to, sir. And so that's important. So especially
Is
if
that
you are working on client database, it's not what you are playing with. It's something that is important for work and so on and so forth.
why after we downloaded the Adventureworks database a few weeks ago,
Okay.
is that why we had to do restore instead of attach?
Yeah, I explained in the beginning. I said anytime you want to do something that is going to work very well, attach my work, but it's not always good, because it's attach the person. It's going to be a large file if the person send it to you, and then it might not be compatible with other version. So for example, if I restore database now on SQL 2005, I can send the backup for you and restore in 2008. But attach might not work. That's number 1. Number 2, attach is not, the person that will give you an MDF file might find it difficult to send the file to you, because if I'm using the SQL now, I cannot quickly say, I want to copy the MDF file and give it to you. If I give it to you, it might have error. That's number 2. Number 3 is because why do you need MDF? Because there's certain configuration in it that will not make it work. People use attach if you are sure, but I think mostly it's backup that works most.
Restore.
Yeah, I've seen many people that you have to send you a BAK file. That is the key thing. Most in Oracle as well, we use, do backup, do full backup, and then restore. Okay, attach is not is the way it is in database. That's what I would say. But attach will work sometimes, but most people that will comply and that will want to be safe will use backup. It's very good. It's very, very good. Yeah, because one of the importance of it is that anytime you do backup, I want to send it to you. I might even try to say, is it working? I'll try to restore it and see if it's working very well. Oh, before I send it. So yeah. So attach my work, but I don't think out there you will not see anybody that is giving you MDF file so much. You will always see BAK file, BAK file, BAK file.
BAK. Okay. Just one more question, Michael, please.
Yeah.
After you've given somebody permission, someone else permission on a database or a set of databases, do you need to tell them what the server authentication particulars will be, like username and password?
Yeah, you have to give them because you are the one that assign it. You already know that you have given them permission to certain database. So
that's what they will need to access the
SQL
whatever you give them. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Or you can even give them permission based on their Windows user account. So it depends as well. So yeah.
And then they can use their Windows login details.
Yeah. If they don't, for example, now you have to give them permission through with Windows as well, because they cannot just automatically log in as well if they don't have permission on that as well. You have to assign it as Windows. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But SQL is most common. So where I show it to you here before initially, I said that you can do the same thing as if you go here now. If I say new, login, you see now there's also Windows authentication here. It's the same principle, and I select one person that I've already put on my PC. The same principle, check names, okay. So, but in your company, you might have, it might be probably your company is something, whatsoever, consulting company, whatsoever it may be, or it might be someone in your own PC as well, location, you will see, that's how to assign things, permission, you get what I'm trying to say. You have done that already in Windows, isn't it? If you want to do something like that,
I've used Windows authentication.
Yeah, so that's good. So that's it for now. If anybody has any question now, let me know, and then that would be nice, so that, because administration is very important as well, so that we can keep cracking on scripting. I think I've covered most on administration, and I think it's good that way. And then which one I'm going to teach about is I'm still going to teach about this one now. I think we talked about attach already, restore. Now I was talking about, continue. Yep.
Do you plan to do like a quiz after each session, or just like an overview? I think it helps if you do like a quiz of the main things that you just to highlight what was important on that session.
Yeah, we can do quiz later on, but what I'm going to try to do is that, because we're still going to get involved in certain things as well. This thing is all about hands-on. Yeah, we can do quiz. I think we did quiz last week, and they got everything.
I wasn't last week. Yeah. But something, when I say a quiz, I say like only three questions of the most important topics, and the most important topics you have covered and that you think is like really important to know. And then even for a beginner, they will always know, oh no, this is something that I cannot forget, like just 3 to 5, no more than that.
Okay, I will ask that at the end of the lesson, but remember that this hands-on, we're trying to look at probably what might happen in the workplace, so they have to go back to the video. I think Yeah, I can ask that as well, but it might not be because I don't want to. I want to be fair. Some people already have started using SQL. Some might not start using it. Yeah, I can ask as well. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but for example, even for people who have already used or normally, there are details like, oh yeah, I knew that, but actually I have
Okay.
forgotten. You know
Okay.
what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I
It's
think
true.
when you said to go back on that feature that you didn't have on the version of 2005, and then this
Yeah.
new version has it, which is the compress. I think that's a good feature to highlight. But then, of course, someone who is using regularly will remember that.
It's
But
true.
someone who is a beginner, we're like, oh yeah, oh yes, he spoke about that, but I actually forgot it. I don't know. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
just
That's a good suggestion. That's a good
3
suggestion.
to
Yeah.
5 question. But yeah, so far so good. Thank you. I have still to catch up with the first one, but yeah,
Okay. All right. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you so much.
that's all right.
Yeah. All right. Cheers. So scripting. I know some people have started doing scripting and so on and so forth. So what we're going to do today is that I'm going to go back to W3 schools and SQL Ball. We're going to move on. We're going to do. I want us to do. What am I thinking about? I'm trying to let us to do what we call. Yeah. I want to discuss about Tableau first because the reason why I'm mentioning Tableau is because it's very important because I'm trying to look for someone that will teach us Power BI. I've not used Power BI for project before, so I'm not comfortable trying to teach it, but I'm going to teach Tableau. So, but I'm saying this because if people have left their email, I'm going to send some materials to us. And I've been discussing with one of our members here. The person has been helping me a lot to see what's happening, in terms of how we're going to use it. So the person was able to only view the file I'm going to send because I am using the full version of Tableau. And because I'm using the full version of Tableau, and so many people are using Tableau Public, which is fine. But the very interesting thing about this material is because I have it. I went for the course. I have it, but it's good for me to share it. But it's for people that have given their email and it's for limited permission. So it means that I'm not going to give it again. But it's good in the sense that you can replicate everything yourself on Tableau Public, even though I'll give everything, the materials. You will see it, everything is just click this, click this, click this, click this. And I'm going to give you a sample. And in one of those things we're going to do, I'm trying to get hold of someone that they have partnership with Udemy, and we're going to be going through. They will send me a file so that people can watch video, also of a Tableau course, which is the materials I'm going to send. Also is going to include fundamental and intermediate to advanced. But I'm going to open something to us here now. I'm going to show it to you because it's a brief of what we're going to look at as well. So we are going to use this as well, apart from the materials and everything we're going to do together. So I'm going to search. This is my Udemy account, but I'm going to try to get the file for us to use as well. So I'm going to give you this as well. So I'm going to start my course before we continue on SQL so that you see what we're going to do in future. Tableau. Oh, what am I typing? Is it not my course? Sorry, search my course. It's supposed to come automatically.
No, there is a mistake.
Yeah,
Misspelled.
misspell. Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the course. So you could see now 7.5 hours. So we know how to manage. I'll compress it for us. So this is the fundamental one, and then to the advanced one. You could see what I'm trying to say. These are those things. Apart from the materials I'm going to give, this one also is going to be part of those things we're going to be playing with. You could see. So one of the preview. Let me just give you a preview of what we're going to be doing as well. We can just see just few probably storytelling. We can just watch probably 4 minutes one. Let me see which one. Advanced dashboard. One of those things. I'm just jumping just for you to see. And so they haven't gotten back to me. I'm trying to look for the video file so that I send everything at the same time for few people that give their email. So these are the things we're doing. Okay, thank you so much. I'll just leave it for now. So these are one of those things we're going to do as well. Everything, trust me. So Tableau course is going to be long as well. So it's going to be consecutive with SQL. That's good. W3 schools. Nice one. W3 schools. Now, if you are keen, that course, sometimes you tell me, you can buy it. If I didn't get the video file for you guys, but the course is kind of £10 or something like that if they are doing sales. So I think I bought it, but it's a good course. I really searched for it. I've recommended it to people as well. They like it as well. So you can go for it. I can send the link, but if I get the video file, I'll send. But the other materials, you will have it. You will like it, trust me. Because that one will teach you everything about Tableau because it's the training I went for with Tableau themselves. So that's it. So don't be scared. I believe that it's easy as long as the knowledge is there. So that's it. So we're going to look at SQL again. The reason why I'm using W3 School, I've always said it, is because it makes life easy. They make simplify things. So we'll continue. We are on inner join. I'm still going to go back to inner join. No. Right join. Red join. No. We want to go to union first. Let's go to union. What is the purpose of union? The purpose of union is to combine two result set of more select statements. In other words, we must have two tables that have the same column. They must have the same number of columns. And when you try to join them together, they must have the same thing. So that's the purpose of union. So it's different from inner join. Inner join doesn't need anything to be of the same column. But in the case of union, you have to make everything of the same column. If they are not of the same column, that's not going to work. And they have to be in the same order. So if, for example, if I have customer name here, address, city, the same thing must be of union as well. It must have the same thing. So that's the purpose of union. And then there's a difference between union and union all. Union all, we always include duplicates. Why union, we only allow just distinct values by default. So you could see it here. So that's the purpose of union and union all. So there's the difference between union and inner join or outer join, or whatever they call it. The difference is because you don't need the same number of columns to be able to join table together with inner join or outer join, but you need the same number of columns and they have to be in order for you to use union or union all. So sometimes you can use it, trust me. You might say, oh, union is not important, but sometimes it's very important because sometimes you have two tables, they don't have common ID, and then you want to, as long as they have the same thing together, you have to use union as well. So, which is good. Then group by. I was talking about group by. What is group by? You will see, I've been working with a project now. I've been using group by, and then sometimes it gives, when you start. But if you're not a developer, fine. But if you're just a database administration, that's fine. But if you're a developer, you will come about group by probably as an SQL developer. It's very important. And then you just say, how am I going to eliminate duplicates? How am I going to make sure that this particular column is grouped, and so on and so forth. So group by is very important, so important. So group by statement is often used with aggregate functions: count, mass, mean, sum, average. Okay. Now, if you want to use group by, you remember we talk about distinct. Distinct can also be grouped by. So if you use distinct is mostly for, especially if you have a string in the beginning of and you want to group by string, it's better to use distinct. But if you have kind of numbers, that's why you use count, mass, minimum, sum, and average. And they all have their functions. The reason why you're using count, if you use count, means that, for example, it means that I want to count the number of customer that has country. So if I look here, you see count, but I have to group. Now, if you want to group, you will not include the one that you put count with. So it means that you exclude. So suppose I put comma name here, I will say group by country name. I will not put group count customer ID because it's already aggregated. All right. So this is it now. Okay. So they've run it. So it's going to give the answer here. So it groups everything now. The number of counts, 3 people, you see, from Argentina. Maybe they are trying to say 3 people, bought this product. 3 people, 2. So it's counting. Do you see what's happening there? It's counting. Now, count, you will come across it. I was telling us last week in Tableau as well. You will see sometimes you want to use CNT. I think they made Tableau easy now. I think there's an option to select, CNT, but sometimes you have to just put CNT, which means count. So it's very important in dashboard and so on and so forth. In anything you do, you use count, trust me. And then we have what we call, which one? Where is average? They haven't thought about average. Okay, average is all about average number, max. The one we call max. Max means that, for example, if you have a situation where you have numbers, it's going to pick the highest number and group them for each group. So for example, if you have max somewhere, let's try it. Let's see. Let's try this one. Let me see if it's going to run max. It's going to only pick one of the highest of the number of the customer ID and just give it to you because it's looking for max. You see, 64 is the highest customer ID. So it says it's from Argentina. 59. Do you see? It picks one. Did you see what's happening? One. It grouped just one. So it's not always good unless you want to select the top of something. So you must think on how you use it. Mean. If I put mean, means what? Minimum as well.
Minimum.
Maximum, minimum. Yeah. So you could see 12 is the minimum here, ID, and then this one. Now, if I say average, it's going to put AVG there. So you could see average of those things and so on and so forth. Is that okay? So most time people use counts. It depends on when you want to calculate, you use average and everything. Which one have not? Sum is important as well. You use it in Tableau a lot as well. So sum means that you are going to sum everything, and then that's all about group by. And then when you have put it there, you have to say group by this. Okay. Now I want us to do something now. I want to try something if it's going to work for us. Let me say distinct country. Distinct country simply means that it's going to group as well. So for example, if I say group, I'm just showing us the power of, so I don't need to even group anyway. Order by so these things work with test. You could see others are they count, it can only count, numbers, everything, but these things work, with string, to group something as well. So if I put order by country, the default is what? Am I doing?
Ascending.
Yeah, ascending. So the same thing, group. Remember that then when we put count, you will see that Argentina, Austria follows as well. So it's more of a grouping and so on and so forth. Don't worry, we are going to do complex scripting so that we'll understand more. We'll be able to use it very well and, hammer on it and do great job as well with, scripting and so on and so forth. Now, group by, we're still there. Now, anytime you use group by is always before where. Remember when we say select country from this, where. Now, group by has come in. That means anytime you say group by, it has to be before where, isn't it? So now, let's use this as you said what?
Is it before where or after where?
Yes, sorry. It's going to be after where. It's going to be after where. So because the reason is because you want to, how would I put it? It's like English, like select this from this. where this, and then after you have gotten everything, group everything. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So that at the end of the day, you have your result being grouped as well. So now, in this case, we're going to look at this example. We might modify it as well ourselves and start writing things as well ourselves. So let's try this. You know, we discovered about inner join last week, isn't it? So let's do this thing now and say, okay, let's say select shipper name count order as number of orders from orders, left join shippers on orders shipper the group by shipper name. Do you know the reason why they only use shipper name here? Because they have already put count only on this one, isn't it? So now, what am I going to do now? If I run it, it gives this, isn't it? 68, 54, 74. Now, if I now say where, now this is the answer. If I now say where order is less than, where is less than 10, let's see what's going to happen. Probably maybe it's going to change. I'm not, because I didn't know the database. I want to, no, it doesn't change. Maybe greater than. I want to see what's going to happen. It should change, but you are using wheres to do, you know, your, oh, because I'm not the one that have the database, but you use where to modify things as well. Where this, and where this at the end of the day. So now let's try. I don't think it's going to work. Full join is not going to work. Trust me. It's not, because we are not the one that have the database, sorry. But we have been using join, inner join. Probably we have to have our own table. Having, I don't want to talk much on having today for now, but having simply means you can use count with having. Most of the time, even though they use having here, having simply means you want to replace where, you don't want to use where. So in the place of having, you can use where as well. So for example, let me see if the example is okay for us. They use count here, as I said, they count it, but having the count less than 5, is it, this one is greater than 5, having the count greater than 5. In other words, it's going, you said so, what?
Sorry, greater than 5.
Yeah, greater than 5. So having count greater than 5 means that you group it, you group anything that is having count greater than 5. So anything that is less than 5 is not going to group it. Okay. You now see there's a difference, isn't it? Before, the group by was after where. Now, it's now saying you have to group this when it's more than 5. So if I say less than 5, it's going to group. You see what is happening now? The one that is less than 5. You could see having is after group by, where is before group by. Do you see what I'm trying to say now? So having is connected to group by most of the time, especially with count. Do you get it? So you always come across some situation when you want to do that. Don't worry, you don't need to memorize, just understand the concept and just get used to it. I'm happy that you grab the administration part of SQL because it's very important. At least that's the key thing now. When we do projects with scripting, we'll be able to, you know, move on. So that's having. Exist. What is exist? Exist simply means that if certain things condition exist, perform something. Exist operator is used to test for existence of any record in a subquery. Now, before I point, what is a subquery? Now, it's very important to understand what is a subquery. Subquery is when you have multiple select statements, you know, that you are writing, you know, that include where, condition, inner join, and so on and so forth. And that's what we're going to be doing, because when you know about writing, you know, SQL script, you know, subquery, you know, putting where and writing join together, joining tables together, you know, grouping things together, that's when you have, you know, subquery. Okay. So in this case, they are talking about exist. Select column from table where exist. So where something exists, where a condition exists. So you can remember we are using where like this, but where exists certain table, where exists certain records. So in this case, they say select supplier name from suppliers. Where now, if you look at this statement, I'll show you what they are trying to say. They said select, they are using select from select. Sometimes it happens most of the time because you are trying to get supplier name from this result here, from this other select. What it's trying to say here is that select a supplier name if it exists in this other query below. All right, that's what it means. So select from the other select statement below. So that's what we call subquery. Okay, so I'm selecting supplier name from anything that comes from here. So in other words, so if I now say try it yourself, run it, it's going to give me supplier name. Look, select supplier name from suppliers where exists. Select product name from product where supplier ID equal to suppliers. Don't worry about all these things. But what they are trying to say is that where exists. I can say where exists. I can change it and say where exists. I can say where exists. What can I do? I don't have access to their tables. So I'll just leave it that way. Where exists. But you can change it to whatever you like. But the main thing is exist means that if it happens, if this condition is met, then do this select from suppliers. Okay. Then what else? That's good. Select any, select all. We all know select all is select star. So I don't need to do that now. Don't worry about select into. It's the same thing. You want to select into a table. So you say select into a new table. Have we done? I think we have done create new database. We have not tried to create table with script. We have not gone there. That's why I think we are still going there. So we can do that. Yeah. So don't worry about this one. If you know how to create a table, you can say select into that table. You will have created a table. Remember. Hello?
It will make a copy of that table.
Yes. It will just say select that into this from, so that means this is the old table. It's going to take all the record, but remember it must have the same columns, it must have the same data type, everything. If it doesn't have the same column, the same data type, it's not going to work. Is that okay? The new table will be created with the column names and types of defined. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So select into is like you say select, you want to say select number into a table you have defined where you already have a string. You set the table as a string rather than number. You understand what I'm trying to say? So you have to make it a define the same thing as well. You have to define the same data types, the same number of columns. So I'll just leave this one now. We don't need it. Don't worry about this. We're going to go to stored procedures and view later on. That's more about future. Stored procedure is an advanced one. So it's, even though it's a one statement here, trust me, it carries a lot. So we're going to do it separately. Okay. And view. So view, and I don't know why they didn't even give us view here. I'm going to talk about comment. Comment simply means that it's a single line comment, means that you want to, I don't know why they are writing something on top of this thing.
I don't know why, but I was just going to talk.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. Interesting. Maybe they made a miss. I don't know. I haven't seen this type of thing before. Anyway, single line of statement. Comments. Because I was wondering why is this thing, but it's even annoying. It's not even. It's interesting. Anyway, select from customers line. Comment. We all understand comment. Comment simply means that the application is not going to, SQL Server is not going to execute that line. This is the single line. Those people that programs a lot, use comment. There's multi-line as well. Multi is this one. You start with this, you end with this. Okay? So that's multi-line as well. So you could see the comment. So it means that if I have a code before, I can comment it and then say, don't execute this part, just only this part. Okay, that's comment. That's all. That's all. So anytime you are reading code of SQL, just know that anything you see this way and you see the color green, it's just it. Comment. Now, this is create DB, drop DB, backup DB. So we're going to do that all the time. This is views. Yes, this way, and stored procedures. Please remind me stored procedures and views. So what is view? We have to understand that. Okay, I want us to ask question first and then see what we can do with. So I'm still planning for replication. Replication, I hope everybody's using SQL Developer.
Well, I am.
Okay, good. I think not sure. Let me see if any other person is waiting. Okay. SQL Developer. Okay. Replication is the next one we're going to do as well. It's one of those things. Replication is all about. There are 3 types of replication, so that I will prepare your mind. So our next lesson might be replication and creating DB, inserting DB. Now, the reason why I'm combining them is because when we want to do project now, then we want to fully go into writing complex query. Number 1, we write complex subquery. We'll do replication. We'll do backup database. And then we're going to do testing. We're going to do testing. So testing. And then I'm going to now start trying to do testing. You have to know everything requires testing. Regardless whether you are not a developer or you require testing. So how do you test things as well? So we're going to, I'm going to give us a template. I'll prepare a template on how to do testing as well. Okay. So I'll just talk about replication, okay? But we are not going to do it today. Replication simply means creating a copy of the database you have and putting it somewhere else. I might be in Argentina and somewhere else is in UK, and I want to replicate what is here in Argentina. But anybody that is trying to replicate something, the source of the replication is called what? The publications. The subscriber is the one receiving it. So that's why you have local publications here and local subscriptions here. And sometimes you might have 4 different locations. I can replicate the database there. There are different types of replication. The one I know about 3 times, the one that is popular is we have merge replication, we have what we call snapshot replication, and we have what we call transactional replication. There's 4th one, which I'm not dealing with today, but honestly, the 3 one is the transactional one has 2 types. So, but it's the same thing, 3 types, the major one. Okay, the merge replication, I'll give you.
Hello, bro, Michael.
Yeah.
I've only got the one for local subscription. I don't know why I don't have.
Did you install developer?
I think I do.
Because you were telling me you installed developer. If not, then means you are using Express. Are you using Windows 10?
Yeah. No,
What was the question?
I'm using 7.
Okay. Okay, you are using 7. I think you are using Express. Don't worry, I will give you a file. You will now install developer, and then when you now install the developer, that you install 2014 because the developer 2017 is not compatible with Windows 7. Myself, I have to go and get and look at Microsoft and get 2014 developer. So that's why I have it now because of this lesson.
Okay.
Before I was using Express. So, but I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to.
No, don't worry. I think I have another desktop with Windows.
Okay, but if you want to, you can always go and have it on both your machine, which is fine. Yvonne, we are talking about developer, SQL developer, if you have the installation or not, and so on. And we're talking about the features here.
Okay. No, I know. I just didn't hear. I heard before, but I couldn't hear properly.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Low.
Okay. So replication, we have 3 types of replication. So preparing our mind for replication already. So it means that we have snapshot replication. Snapshot replication means that I want to replicate. I have already completed the work, and this person is in Australia. Oh my goodness! And then they want to connect to that database in Australia. But what I just need is to just give them the copy of database I have here in UK and then give it to them in Australia. So what am I going to do? I can create snapshot replication. So that's the type of replication. It means they only need it once, okay? They don't need to do it again. So, but it's going to take a lot of time because the snapshot is going to do a lot of, you know, copying of the files. Just once, you understand what I'm trying to say? Once, that's all. Now, there's another one called transactional. Now, transactional also involve, if I change something in database, it's going to reflect there. So I've already sent the snapshot. So if you choose transactional, it's going to first carry transactional for, it's going to first create snapshot first and send the snapshot. Now, because you have said transactional, it means that if I make small changes here, and then it's going to replicate there, but it's not going to do snapshot again. So that's why it's called transactional. It's, you know, it's keeping up to date. However, if somebody makes changes there as well, okay, it's not going to reflect here. It's not going to merge. Even though the changes here will reflect there, if they make changes there, it's not going to merge. I want you to go and read it very well, but the one I think is very confusing here. But what I'm trying to say here now, if I make a changes here, even though I've sent snapshot there, it's going to show there in Australia. Okay. Now, if they make changes there, it's going to show. If I said they should communicate, which is, you know, replication, because it's now transactional, it's going to send it here. However, it might overwrite my settings. It's not going to merge. So for example, if I have what is here, column A, and I've already sent column A there, and they now change, you know, they change the column A. If they send it again, it's going to replace my column A here or something like that. So, but for merge is very important. Merge is the best, let me put it that way, because if I make any changes here and someone make changes there, it's going to merge together. It's not going to override. It's not going to, you are not going to be afraid anyone want to do anything. That it's going to just merge together. So it means that I will have information complete information. But when we start practicing with SQL database, you understand what's merge replication, what is transactional replication, and what is snapshot replication. So if you want to start with that, you can just say you have to create a publication. For publication is kind of a let me put it that way, a way of saying I want to start what we call replication. So you say new publications. That's it. So we are not doing it today, but I'm just giving you just a scenario. Next, then you now start doing a lot of configuration. So we'll start next week. Something right on my screen. It's not W3 server. I think probably shared the screen with someone made a mistake, or I was the one. Oh Jesus, I think I'm the one though, because this thing has been there since. Or someone did it because.
Oh, it's probably you.
Because I was thinking W3. It's me. This is. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Oh, this is I didn't realize that. Trust me. Why did what did I click on? It must be Zoom. Sorry about this. This is strange. Let me check. Hold on. Oh, annotate. I think I've seen it. Clear all drawings. Interesting. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you so much. Now, if you have any question, ask me now. I'll be happy to answer. But I think we should just practice these login situations. Don't worry about scripting. You are just getting there, because I know scripting will be the one that is going to be tough most, and replication as well. The management one of SQL is okay. Then try to go over and think deeply on what I've told you before. Properties, you know, think of those things. You can Google it. You know, what's it all about? Understand more, and then you start getting comfortable with SQL connections. Go back to it. You know, general, memory, these. You can even Google it and say timeout error, SQL. You know, should we even do it now? Let me just do it now and see. Because what I'm trying to do is that to help us also to make research on Stack Overflow, on everything, so that you will solve problem easily. I was dealing with something today and I was starting to read tutorial. I just Google it and say, how can you do this? You know, you just figure out, the more you do it, the more you are able to read a lot of things and you get comfortable, more, confident and so on. So I'll say timeout, even though we don't have the problem, but I want to say timeout error, SQL Server. So let's see what people will say. I like Stack Overflow.
Yeah, it's nice.
You see, without regards to your timeout, are you now? I think this is what we discussed, isn't it? In the settings, I've already set it, but in this way, are you using the SQL management to run your query? If so, when connected to database, there's an option button to allow one set to timeout. Remember, we talked about this timeout. This was the issue I told you then, wasn't it? So this is the same thing here. So you can always Google and everything like that. In my case, I think I did something for us. I only go to properties, but there's another option here as well, which is good. Let me cancel this. Let me show you this. Hold on. Where's my SQL? Huh. Okay. Remember, I showed you this as well. There's another option. This is where I think, where's the connections? Where's the timeout? Yeah, I put 600 here. You can, and sometimes put more than this, but it's fine. Or you can go here. I can say database engine. Oh, it doesn't even have it again. But anyway, you go to options here, and then you say connection properties. Do you see 15 seconds? That's where they go to. And then you click connection timeout. Because sometimes you want to connect to a database, probably it's very slow. Probably the database is in Australia and it's very slow. And then you have already put a limit of 15 seconds in it. And if it's more than 15 seconds, it's going to time out. But you want to connect, you want to take your time. Or you have a database that is using VPN and some of those things as well. It might be slow to connect to, all right, until you give it more time. So that's what this timer is. So it's a common error as well. Okay, now what I told you now, so these are those things you come across. You could see now, I quickly Google it and I quickly find the problem I'm looking for. Okay, and also I can say, okay, how can I replicate snapshots? So I'll just say snapshots. Let me now say Stack Overflow. I'm just giving you, maybe we haven't done, don't worry about replication. I'm just giving you scenario. What to do to give you confidence. Now you start using SQL, but you want to know more and so on and so forth. So Stack Overflow. This one even asks question. I think this is what we discussed now. Snapshot replication or backup or restore. What's this one? This is not what I'm looking for. I see Stack Overflow. They didn't give me anyone. Okay, let's just do snapshot. Let's do this thing so that we'll look at it together. Before we go. Snapshot replication. I want someone that will explain for you guys so that I prepare you. So this one is asking questions. So Stack Exchange is also a good website. Does SQL Server snapshot replication completely copy data every time, or does it issue you data? What is it saying? I know it's just one time. It's not going to do it every time unless you schedule it to do it every time, but it's going to be wasting resources. Snapshot replication distributes that data exactly as it appears at a specific moment in time and does not monitor for update for the data. When synchronization occurs, the entire snapshot is generated and sent to subscriber. You could see there, you just send it. It's not going to bring it back. So it's different from merge replication. Using snapshot replication by itself is the most appropriate when one or more of the following is true. Data changes infrequently, so you don't really need it much. You just want one, just one time of it. It is accepted to have copies of data that are out of date with respect to the publisher for a period of time. In other words, you don't need to have updated data. So that's all what it means with snapshots. So that's all. Now, snapshot replication has a lower continuous overhead on the publisher than transactional replication because incremental changes are, don't worry, we'll go there later on. I don't want to go. So all those things we are going to look at as well, and so on and so forth. Now, please, for our next lecture, please and please, Tableau, please install Tableau Public and Tableau Reader, please. And the video I showed to you, if you want to go online on Udemy to go and buy the fundamental is $9 or $10 now if they are doing sales. Until I get the video, they haven't replied me yet. But this is the video I'm using my own account on Udemy anyway. So we might be watching it together and doing it. But I have materials I want to send. If you have sent your email to me, that's fine. I'm going to compile it and send the materials to you guys. Please keep it confidential. Don't distribute it anyhow. It's what I probably went for, but it's good to share knowledge and so on and so forth. But you will see how everything, because I'm not sending materials, you will be able to see, because I'll give you a sample now. Let me show you one to see how good it's going to be for you guys. So this is the fundamental one. I'll open it for us. I'm just opening it now. So, okay. Oh God, I am very, very grateful. Okay. Now, I'm trying to, don't mind my PC, it's very slow now. Now, don't worry, it's going to settle down. See what is happening. This is fundamental. It's going to be teaching you everything. Directions, open you split that. So I'm going to send you this file. Now, in this case, because you don't have it, you have to, sorry, I'm the one that is doing this for you guys. Approved. Okay. Now, for Mac users, so like Yvonne that use, you can use it anyway. So, and then that's it. So you will see a lot. It's how many pages? 109 of exercises. Do this, do this, do this. So it's going to help. So you'll be master of Tableau. Trust me, when you start sitting on it, and with the video as well. If you try to get access as well on Udemy as well, you will be fine. Trust me. And then, so do this, and I will send you the solution to all these things as well. It has solution as well. But the problem is that if you don't have Tableau desktop, you will not be able to open those sample file, but you can still use it if you can quickly create this in Tableau, and you can do what they are trying to say you should do. Because, or you can install free trial anytime you want to sit on it for 15 days. There is Tableau public desktop for 15 days trial period, and so on and so forth. So there's no way I can go about that. I wanted to try my best to do it, but I couldn't do it. So you have to have Tableau desktop, but that doesn't mean you should not have it. It's good. You can use it to practice. In fact, I like it so much, especially the advanced one is very, very nice, which is very nice for you. It's all, see, dashboard, practicing, and so on and so forth. You will see a lot there. Trust me. This one is 136 pages. See a lot of things you are going to deal with, graphs, and you can see the guy as well that will watch on video. Very good. I'm telling you, enjoyed that lesson. And the person is using Tableau Public as well. So when we're doing it, I think we are going to be looking it online as well. I'm going to be sending some of the copy of the files I'm receiving there as well. So you will definitely enjoy it. So you'll be able to understand, when you want to use all those things and so on and so forth. It's so easy as long as you have now mastered it, But if you don't practice Tableau, you won't be able to. I've not done some of it. I've been doing all that thing, but trust me, it's easier because I've done it already. So, and I hope that you enjoy Tableau lessons soon as well. I'm not sure when we're going to start, but I'm going to send the materials to you on Thursday and Friday, by God's grace. So you can start playing with it. If you want to watch more videos on YouTube, you can do that as well. But this one, but I'm so sorry. How I wish that you should have Tableau desktop to open, but you will still be able to use some of the source files. I have the source files here. I've already even prepared for us already. I have it with me since hold on, let me show it to you. Where is the file? Sorry. Okay. My PC is very slow, so that's why I'm having. So we have source files and everything. So I'm going to send everything and so on. If you have any question, please, about, do you think, are you comfortable to be, to be doing a lot with SQL? How are you finding it? Is it too fast for you today? Because I'm trying to get slower and slower. If you are okay with it, that's fine. I'm happy. So these are the ones we're going to use. These are the source files we're going to be using. So a lot in there. Solutions for, so this is the solution of the TBS you see, but don't worry, if we can practice with these as well, those instructions. So I'll show you something here. And USB, that's the key one. So solutions, data, these are the source files, workbooks, starters. So some of those things we're going to be working with as well. So, so if you have Tableau Public, I'm sorry, desktop, I'm thinking I'm going to even make research. If you are student, someone is student, you can get it free for 1-2 years or something like that. So I'm not student again. How I wish I'm student. So any question, please? Any question before we round up tonight? Any question, please? On Tableau, on SQL, please?
Well, SQL, database administration.
Yeah.
What is tuning?
We are still going to go there. It's going to be a separate topic itself, because if you see in the website, none of you are registered on the website. It's only because that has registered, and I haven't even seen that again. Some have registered. I know Mr. Austin has registered. Yvonne has registered. So there I put SSIS, and tuning is going to be part of it as well, because tuning is going to be at the end of everything, where you are going to know about tuning database, and then probably you don't want to be hearing tuning and then want to be doing something, writing script, because you require script as well. You think, oh, tuning is all about, no. But for example, I want to see what is happening to my database. The what we call, in 2005, what we call query analyzer and so on. I'm not sure if they still have it here in 2000, this thing. So you do SQL profiler. These are part of those things. You want to see what is making database to very slow. You want to look at indexing in database. But that's when you want to fully become a SQL developer. And that's when things will change then, because we'll see people doing Python and everything. So it's going to be merging everything. So, but I'm not sure if we'll be taking that soon. We want to finish with, but we're going to do tuning as well. We're going to do SSIS for sure. Definitely. We're going to, I have materials for it. In fact, I have it in Udemy. I can show it to you here now. Udemy, and you can even practice it on YouTube. I have one, in fact, I've saved. I said I'm going to give to you guys on YouTube as well. Very, very nice.
Anyway, it's still advanced. I'm still on a basic.
No, it's okay.
SSIS, just basic ETL.
No, there are people that are specialized. You have to understand that there are people.
Transform and load, extract, transform, load.
Yeah, but
just basic stuff for now.
No, the extract, that one is very easy.
It's easy.
Yeah, because if you go through it, you would think the one that is hard is the one that you are doing now, administrating. You will not find, because the problem is that how to now use warehouse, how to do something in the warehouse. That's the problem in terms of, but trying to extract, trying to translate, you understand, transform and load is easy. But another thing is that if you now have complicated, and that's why I'm going to teach people how to do administration side of things in Windows, because if you want to write bash script, you might sometimes have to write bash script to do certain things,
Yeah.
But don't
Okay, we will get there.
don't marry them together. Sometimes you have people that have to be specialists in data warehouse as well. So don't think like you have to. Some people are just data warehousing, you know, they are just specializing in it and so on and so forth. So that's it. That's what they do. But it's different from, you know, administrating as well. Yeah, administrating is part of loading as well, transforming, but it's not going to be kind of too much. You understand what I'm trying to say? Or later on, if you now get advanced, you now become probably, you know, kind of you have experience, you can know everything. So it's gradual as well. Yes.
Okay.
Any other question before we leave? Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any question, let me know now before I leave. By God's grace.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
So please,
Thank you, Michael.
all right. Thanks so much. God bless you. Yeah.
Thanks.